In the beginning after the end, in his previous life he had been a king. The hero stood atop the wall, gazing down. He had commanded armies, ridden a mechanical steed, raised his sword alongside machines, and conquered champions from across the world. Before the king, on the ground, lay a man. Yet despite all his victories, he had never felt prouder than he did at this moment. The child smiled faintly. With determination in his eyes, he looked ahead and realized he could crawl. His parents watched him move forward. Alice reminded her husband to make sure he didn't bump his head on the corner. Ray agreed, adding that they should also keep him away from the shelf. The child knocked his forehead against the mirror and plopped down beside it, staring at his reflection. His parents chuckled fondly, amused by how fascinated Arthur was with himself. Months had passed, yet he still hadn't fully adjusted to his new name. Arthur felt that Art wasn't a fitting name for a former king. The little boy reached toward the mirror, yet, as he examined his reflection, he had to admit, he was undeniably adorable. Arthur smirked. He gazed at his reflection with confidence, thinking that future ladies should beware. Many hearts were bound to be broken. His parents laughed, watching him admire himself. Alice placed a gentle kiss on her son's cheek. As he lay in bed, she whispered sweet dreams before leaving the room. The moment she was gone, the little boy opened his eyes. Lifting his hands in the air, he declared that the mission had begun. He tossed aside the blanket, letting it fall to the floor. Arthur carefully climbed out of bed, swung his leg over the railing, and tumbled onto the soft fabric. With determination, he thought that now, while Alice believed he was asleep, he had about an hour before she returned to check on him. He pressed forward, crawling with purpose. The hero glanced back at the woman washing dishes. He crawled with focus, thinking that his goal was within reach, full speed ahead. He made his way toward the open door and peered inside. The study was filled with books. Clenching his tiny fist, he considered this a victory. Sitting on the floor, he looked at the shelves with satisfaction. Books of all sizes lined the racks. Ever since discovering this place, he had been sneaking in every night to learn more about the world. Arthur examined a map detailing several kingdoms. The continent of Dicathen, where he had been reborn, was divided into 3 major realms. Deep in the forests lay Elenoir, the elusive kingdom of the elves. Another realm, marked by small stone dwellings, was Darv, the vast underground homeland of the dwarves. Among the clustered homes, a grand castle stood tall, Sapin, the human kingdom, undoubtedly the most densely populated region. The child pulled a book toward himself. Like his previous world, this one also had a monarchy, but here the throne was inherited rather than earned through merit. As he tugged at the book, he lost his balance and tumbled onto his back. He quickly realized that this world was far less advanced than the one he had once ruled. Arthur stretched his arms out, flipping through the pages. Then he stumbled upon something significant. A candle flickered on the desk. This was it. On the table lay a book, A Beginner's Guide for the Privileged Mage. Magic. Arthur focused, carefully turning the pages. He paused, noting the strange symbols and illustrations inside. In his past world, a force called Kai existed, an energy that through rigorous training practitioners could harness to enhance their bodies and weapons. A soft glow shimmered. In this world, a similar force existed, mana. Unlike ki, which resided solely within a person, mana was present everywhere. Lying on the floor, the child eagerly read on. He imagined silhouettes of people, noting that the ability to wield mana was largely genetic. Only about 1 in 100 children possessed it. Arthur scratched his backside, cursing an itch. He continued reading, discovering that there were 2 primary ways to use mana: enhancing and spellcasting. Lines connected to a silhouette. Enhancers used mana to strengthen their bodies, granting them immense power, resilience, and agility. However, their weakness lay in their limited attack range. Arrows branched out from another figure. Spellcasters, in contrast, projected mana outward, bending the elements to their will. However, to cast spells, they needed to absorb mana from the environment and store it within their mana core. A cloaked figure reached toward a group of kneeling forms. Arthur's mother, Alice, was something called a deviant. More specifically, an emitter. He recalled her healing his injured knee. Emitters were rare mages capable of using unique, restorative mana. Crossing his arms, the child pondered the information. According to the book, a mage's first awakening typically occurred between early and late adolescence. Arthur touched his chin, considering how their mana cores developed. The concept reminded him of the ki center from his past life. To form one, children were taught to meditate, sense the scattered fragments within their bodies, and gather them into a single point. He studied his tiny hands. Sitting in a meditative pose, he found this fascinating. Closing his eyes, he focused. A faint glow emerged from within. Excitedly, he thought, it was working. Suddenly, a pair of hands scooped him up. Alice held her son with a relieved smile. "There you are. You had me worried." Then, she noticed something. Holding him up, she gently asked, "Honey, are you having trouble taking a poopy?" Arthur sighed. He was on the verge of embarking on his journey to becoming the world's greatest mage. Surely he shouldn't be hindered by something as trivial as this. A greenish smoke wafted from his diaper. Alice giggled. "Well, I guess that's not a problem after all. Time for a change." The baby flushed with embarrassment. Somewhere in his intense concentration, he had completely soiled himself. Marking the end of Chapter 2.